All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, man? Happy Tuesday to you. This is your man Frank coming to you live and direct with another edition of View from the Man Cave. So, welcome. Welcome to View from the Man Cave, a place for honest, intellectual, and informative dialogue and discourse about all things related to masculinity and manhood, responsibility and respect, provision and protection. So, let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All right, y'all. It's another day, man. It's another day in the life. I hope everybody's good. Hope everybody had a good weekend, a good Monday yesterday. I know there's a lot of things going on in the news, in the public eye. I'm going to speak on a few of those things for a few moments, and then we're going to get right into our topic tonight. So, as you all know, man, I'm no stranger to what's going on in these current events right now. I know, recently, last week or so, a few days ago or so, we had, an incident here in Washington, D.C., where I reside. We had a few folks storm the Capitol building, caused a little bit of a ruckus, broke into the building, man, sat in people's desks and all that, went on the House floor, the Senate floor, and things like that. And I just want to talk about it briefly, man, just give you guys my view on it. But at the end of the day, it's just, the world that we live in, it's divided right now. And it's been divided for a long time. But I think since President Trump took office, a lot of people who have decided, to take that division to the next level. If you're a Black person in America and you have any sense of history, if you have any sense of understanding, knowledge, and wisdom, then you'll know that the things that we're seeing right now are not new. We've been experiencing racism. We've been experiencing things like this. But, since President Trump has taken office, a lot of people have really felt emboldened and confident in voicing their opinions and speaking out loud things that were normally spoken in the dark and, in the confines of their home and in their safe and secure spaces. But, right now, man, a lot of people are really feeling confident and they're walking around with their chest puffed out, and saying a lot of things and doing a lot of things that, they've always wanted to say and do publicly. So me personally, I kind of like it like that. I know a lot of people, are fearful and, sad and, have a lot of feelings and emotions. But, me, I'm of that ilk of Brother Malcolm, man, of El Haj. So, when things like this happen, I really don't get sad. I don't really get moved by it or anything like that, because I understand history and I understand that, these things are going to take place. We live in a world that's full of wickedness, for the most part. So I don't expect righteousness to come out of wickedness. I really don't. I expect, wicked forces to act wicked, to be true to themselves. So when they, so when they do that, when they exhibit behavior that is true to them, I'm not moved by that. My responsibility as a man is to make sure that I'm prepared, to protect and provide for my family. Regardless of whatever situation we're in, regardless of the world that we live in. So that's what I do. I grew up, a lot of people, man, who I grew up with in my family who have a spiritual background and religious background, and that's cool. And a lot of them are really kind of, shocked and sad right now about, these events. But, these things were written, these things were foretold. So, I can't be sad and depressed about things that I know are coming. Only thing I can do as a man is prepare for them. So that's what I do. So, I think that, we'll see what happens with the inauguration. I know it's coming up, next week. We'll see how that goes. I know that they're planning another, demonstration or whatever for the inauguration. So hopefully the security will be a little bit better. Hopefully, you don't have to have Capitol Police, not showing up or running around and having security guards having to fend for their life, being left out there on the island like that. So hopefully next week, if they do pull back up, the situation is a little better, that security, is a little bit better. So things can have, a certain degree of normal. You know what I mean? So that's what I say about that. Also, today is a very special day for me, man. January 12th. It is the birthday of one of my heroes. It is the birthday of one of my mentors and one of my principal teachers, and that is the late great Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was born today, January 12th, 1948. The brother, he passed away, unfortunately, in February of 2001, I believe. But, there was, you'd be hard pressed to find a brother that was more passionate, about his people, that was more committed to the code, to his people, to his culture than Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. For those of us who know him, and for those who don't, this brother came up through the ranks in the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's where he got his name. That's where he put his foot in the sand and built something beautiful for himself and for his people, within the Nation of Islam. Speaking truth, man, speaking truth to power. And then, obviously he had a falling out, with the minister and with the nation, with a speech that he did at King College. And, he kind of separated himself from the nation and went more Pan-African after that point, and, in helping to formulate and to work with the new Black Panther Party. And then, and then he died in February of 2001. But, this brother, I was always motivated by listening to this brother. Even to this day, I find myself every once in a while going on YouTube, watching his old videos when he was on the Donahue show, listening to his interviews and things like that. And you'd be hard pressed to find a brother, like I said, who was more passionate about his people, who spoke more eloquently than Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. So I just want to say, rest in peace to this brother. I want to say, I love him, and, may his spirit and may his legacy live forever, man. You know what I mean? Because he was one of the greatest that we've ever produced. So, he's definitely missed, and and I just hope we can keep his legacy going. I mean, straight up and down. So salute to him. So I'm going to get right to our topic tonight. I'm not going to go too long. I told myself I was going to do about an hour. I've had a very busy day, and I'm sure you guys have had it as well. But I've been working and doing the family thing, the husband thing, the father thing, all of that. I've been supporting, a few of my friends on ClubHouse. My man Gabe, Ultimate Black Man Radio. You know what that's about, and and my sister Nicole Michelle at the Inner Beauty Movement. So we've been doing rooms over there in ClubHouse, man. If y'all not on ClubHouse, y'all check that out, man. We have a lot of fun over there. I think right now it's only for iPhone users. If you have an iPhone, you can definitely, you can definitely tap into the ClubHouse. And we have a lot of rooms over there. We have a lot of interesting topics. It's a lot of celebs over there who kind of tap in and support and do their thing and kind of add on to the conversations and things like that. So it's a great, it's good over there. I like it. So honestly, going forward, I'm going to put a little bit more energy into ClubHouse on the ClubHouse side of the game. So a lot of my live stuff, I'm probably going to do it more so over there. And then I'll do recorded content, for YouTube. But y'all come check us out over there, man. If y'all look, if you have an iPhone, if you have access to ClubHouse, sign on to that. Look us up. Look me up, Gabe. Nicole Michelle in the Beauty Movement, and kind of tap in, man. We have a lot of interesting conversations and discussions over there. And I enjoy that thoroughly. So, without any further ado, we're gonna get into our topic tonight. So our topic tonight, man, is just. It's for the fellas, man. It's about communicating with character, when and how to correct your lady. And so, communication is very important in a relationship, obviously. Couples who don't communicate well, they don't last. Communication is the most common means of exchange in a relationship. It's how you express your feelings. It's how you express your thoughts. It's how you give, your ideas, instructions on what you kind of want to be done, how you want things to be done to you and for you and things like that. You know what I mean? So communication, especially, verbal communication, obviously is very important in a relationship. So it's imperative that we understand how to do that, you know what I mean, and how to do it well. Because like I said before, if you can't communicate effectively in a relationship, if you can't communicate with respect and character and dignity and all those good things, you're going to have a hard time keeping the relationship. You know what I mean? It's just, it may start fast, it may start hot and heavy, but great communication is a foundational principle in a relationship. So if you don't have that, it's going to be hard for you to maintain a relationship, straight up and down. And so I just wanted to talk to the brothers, man, because I know a lot of times, in these streets, we have our guard up, you know what I mean? And we're very masculine and we do things a certain way. So a lot of times that doesn't necessarily translate well into communicating with our lady, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the times we don't really know how to do that well. You know what I mean? I've learned in my life that you can't talk to your lady the way you talk to your homie or your brother or your friend or whatever other male you're dealing with on whatever level. You know what I mean? You can't talk to your lady like that. It's not going to be effective. You know what I mean? Am I saying that you don't tell your lady? Am I saying that you shouldn't tell your lady the truth? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? You should tell your lady the truth. You should tell her how you feel. You should be honest about that. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you to sugarcoat anything. I'm not telling you to be a beta male, to be a simp and not say anything. You know what I mean? This show, this live is about communicating effectively, about communicating in a way where you cover all your bases, where you can be confident in the end result because you said what you wanted to say. You said it in the proper way that your lady can receive it and absorb that and respond to it. You know what I mean? In the way that you would like. So it's very important, you know what I mean, for you to understand how to communicate. You want to know when to communicate and you want to know where to communicate. You know what I'm saying? All these things are important and imperative to a healthy relationship. So I'm just going to go over, maybe 4 or 5, things that, I've thought about over the years that have helped me in my personal life, in my relationships, in my marriage. And, just give it back to the people, man. You know what I mean? Just to let the people know, what is some things that have helped me over the years and things that I've learned and evolved into and grew up out of. All right. So the first thing that you want to do, you know what I mean, when you're communicating with your lady and you're trying to, correct her. And let me say this, because I remember when I originally put this post up for this video, and I think there was a few people that, got the wrong idea about the word correction. You know what I mean? Correction is very important. You know what I mean? Correction is a man should want to and should be comfortable in correcting his lady. If he's seeing some behavior out there that he doesn't like, if he's seeing some behavior that it's not becoming of a woman, and maybe his lady in the heat of the moment, she doesn't really understand that. She's not really know she doesn't really know what's going on, so she's not really feeling that. It's good for him. It's imperative for him to be able to correct her, to kind of pull her to the side and say, hey, what you did right there wasn't necessarily cool. But, let me give you another option. Let me give you something, to kind of challenge that and balance that out. I see you, Nicole. Thanks for pulling up. It's my sister right here, man. Nicole Michelle in the beauty movement. Like I said before, man, we've been popping on ClubHouse. We've been doing a lot of things over there, having fun. I've been enjoying myself, moderating in her groups. They've been fire. So y'all come check us out, man. Y'all check us out on ClubHouse right there. That's where we're going to be at. The majority of the time in the future. That's where we're going to be in ClubHouse. I'm going to still rock out on YouTube a little bit. I'm going to do more recorded content over here, but the majority of my lives and stuff like that, I'm going to be on ClubHouse. It's just a different feel over there. So women, feminine women want to be corrected. Let me say that too. Feminine women who are in love, who are in a relationship with a guy that they're feeling, that they like, that they are comfortable with lining up with, they don't have a problem being corrected. You know what I mean? If they want you to tell them the truth. You know what I mean? They want you to tell them when, you know, they did something wrong or said something wrong. A lot of times, you know, that's that masculine and feminine balance right there. You know what I mean? We are each other's covering, so to speak. You know what I mean? You cover her physically and, you know, with provision and protection. You know, she's going to cover you, you know, with her nurturing, and with her nourishment, and, you know, with her femininity and with her emotions. You know what I mean? So you cover each other, you look out for each other. So a feminine woman is going to understand that, hey, you know, this masculine man that I'm building with, he has the ability to see things that I don't see. You know what I mean? He has the ability to see my blind spots. And so when he sees something, you know, in my blind spot that I can't see, you know, she's going to want him to let her know what's going on. She's going to want him to let her know what's really good. You know what I mean? So if you with a woman in a relationship and she don't really want to be corrected, or every time you kind of bring something to her, and if you do it in the right way, which is what I'm going to talk about, you know, over the next, you know, 40, 30 minutes or so, then if she has issues with that, then she's not really the one for you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because she wants to line up with your program. If your program is official, she's feminine, you and your masculine, you know, you playing your part, you're doing it right. She's going to want to line up with that, or she should want to line up with that. So if you come into her, you know, kind of correcting her, giving her some game about a few things, if she's not really responding to that, or she's deflecting, or, you know what I mean, or things like that, then she's just really showing you what you need to see, which is the fact that she's not really the one for you, straight up and down. See my man G in here, Ultimate Black Man Radio, was good. Like I told y'all before, man, we over there, man. We over in ClubHouse. All three of us, we over there doing our thing. So, you know, we still on YouTube. We still gonna do that from time to time. We still gonna do these shows. We're still gonna do recorded content. But a lot of that energy right now is going to be focused over there on ClubHouse. So y'all come over there, y'all pull up on us. You know what I mean? Y'all check us out. So the first thing you want to do, fellas, when you communicate with your lady, when you're trying to correct her in the proper way, in a way where you're not, you know, damaging her self-esteem, her ego, you know what I mean? You're not breaking her spirit, so to speak. The one thing that you want to do, or one of the things that you want to do, is you don't want to raise your voice. You know what I mean? You don't want to raise your voice at your lady. You know what I mean? It's not a good look for you. You know what I mean? Raising your voice, yelling, you know, fussing your lady out, that's not cool, man. That's disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's abusive. And at the end of the day, it's really a defense mechanism. You know what I mean? We all have qualities and traits of nature. You know what I mean? We all have an animalistic side to us as men. And so, you know, when you look on the animal side of the game, when you look at animals only yell and bark and growl, you know, when they're trying to defend themselves, or when they're in attack mode. You understand what I'm saying? So when you want to have a conversation where you want to tell your lady something, and you want to correct some behavior that you're seeing that's not cool, one of the things that you don't want to do is you do not want to raise your voice at her. You don't want to yell at her. You know what I mean? And I had to learn that myself. I said, you, Chris, what's going on? Chris, you know, my man Chris is in the building. Thanks for pulling up. So and I had to learn this myself, because, you know, I grew up with humble beginnings, and you know, my family's very loud. My family's very passionate. We argue all the time. We fight. You know what I mean? We love each other though. You know what I mean? So we'll fuss each other out. We'll get loud with each other, all of that stuff, and then we cool after that. You know what I mean? Like we do it. You know, we get it all out. You know what I mean? We go back and forth with it, and then we let it go and we move on. You know what I mean? And so when I got older and I got into, you know, relationships and I got married, that was something that my wife didn't really respond to well. She didn't really understand that. You know what I mean? We would have conversations and I would get passionate and I would like yell and my tone would go up. Miss Jones, I see you. And my tone would go up and my body language would change. My posture would change and it would get into a defensive posture, you know. And so my wife didn't understand that. She didn't respond to that well. You know what I mean? And we would have conversations about it. And she would tell me straight up, like, babe, I love you, but why are you yelling? You know what I mean? Like, why is your chest swell up? You know what I mean? And it was so comfortable for me. Like, I didn't even really know I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was something that I was accustomed to. I grew up like that. So I was always, you know, loud and animated and things like that. And so when I got when I got married, that didn't really suit me well. It didn't serve me well. It didn't serve my purpose. You know what I mean? When I would have conversations with my wife, or we had to discuss something that was, somewhat serious, I had to really watch that. I had to check that. And fellas, you can't talk to your lady the way you talk to the homies in the street. You know what I mean? You just can't do it. You know what I mean? I know we live in this world where a lot of brothers are frustrated with things, and a lot of brothers, we live in this society, and we understand what's going on. We understand that every time we step outside, we're in a war zone. You know what I mean? We're walking into a war every day, trying to pursue this bag. You know what I mean? Trying to put food on the table, trying to make sure bills is paid, trying to make sure our wives, our children, our ladies have everything that they need, to do what they need to do. And so a lot of times, man, brothers will find ourselves in these situations where, we don't dictate to a lot of people outside of the house. You know what I mean? Everywhere we go, a lot of brothers feel like, I have to answer to somebody. Somebody, is in charge of me. You know what I mean? Somebody dictates to me and tells me what to do. So a lot of times, if you don't watch yourself, if you don't really watch what you're doing, you know what I mean, you'll try to bring that into your relationship, and you'll do it in a negative way, because you're like, yo, I'm getting my ass whipped out here in these streets. You know what I mean? And I got the police looking at me a certain way. My supervisor bugging out. You know what I mean? My team leads at work in these groups they bugging out, they acting up, and I can't really do nothing to them because I need them. You know what I mean? I work at this job. I got to do what I got to do to put food on the table. So you got to deal with it, or that's what you're telling yourself. So then you want a place or a space where you can dictate, where you can flex a little bit. You know what I mean? Where you can have dominion and when you can dominate. And a lot of times, you just have to have that balance, because if you don't catch yourself, you'll bring all that frustration home. And then when your lady, does something, the smallest thing, you know what I mean? She put something somewhere where you're not expecting it, or she moved something for you. She was trying to clean up and move something out the way and didn't tell you that she moved it and forgot that she had moved it. And then you snapping on her. You understand what I'm saying? So I see my brother here, Sean, what's going on? It's my physical right in the building. So you have to make sure that you don't raise your voice. You know what I mean? As men, we're passionate, but don't raise your voice at your lady, man. Most ladies, man, if they're feminine, that's going to make them ball up. You know what I mean? That's going to make them defensive. That's going to make them not want to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? And you want your lady vulnerable. You want your lady in her feminine energy. So in order for you to help bring that out of her and manifest that in the physical, you want to make sure that you are communicating strategically with her. Life is chess. And, you communicate the exact same way that you play chess. You play it strategically. You know what I mean? Like when you play chess, you can see a piece on the board, right? And that piece is just hanging out there. And you're like, yo, I'm going to take that rook. I'm going to take that knight or that bishop or whatever it is. But when you're playing against somebody that's strategic, you understand that, you have to watch the board. And when you watch the board, you understand, okay, this person that I'm playing is setting me up. Yeah, I could take that piece. I could take that pawn. But the result of me taking that particular piece could mean that I lose 2 or 3 pieces. It could mean that I lose leverage in this game. It could mean that I automatically, instead of me being on the offensive now, I have to play defense, because me taking this one piece that I thought was going to, do me some good, wound up putting me in a situation where I'm losing 2 or 3 of my primary pieces that I don't want to lose. So you want to make sure that you understand that, you enter and understand that when you're communicating. It's like the easy, natural thing to do for a lot of us is just to vent, to be loud, to be animated. And you could take that loudness, that animation, and really go at your lady in a verbally abusive way. But then look at all the pieces that you're going to lose after that. You know what I mean? So you could check her and get loud and be stomped down on her and do all of that. And you can feel good about that for a moment. But you're going to lose more than you gain by doing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you understand that. Make sure that you're being strategic in your communication. You don't want to raise your voice, man. For feminine women, from my personal experience, man, that's going to make them ball up. You know what I mean? It's going to make them fearful. It's going to make them hesitant. You know what I mean? And that's not what you want. You want open communication. You want to be able to talk to her, let her know how you feel, do it in the right way, and get her to respond to that in a way that is comfortable for you and for her. So you're not going to really get that by raising your voice at her. All right. So that's number one. Number two, the second thing that you don't want to do, you know what I mean, when you're communicating with your lady and you're trying to correct her, you know, maybe she did something wrong or said something wrong, and you're trying to let her know what's really, really good. Another thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to correct her in front of an audience. You know what I mean? I know that sometimes brothers may feel like, well, yo, you know, she said it right here, so I'm gonna check it right here, or she did it right here, so I'm gonna check it right here. You know what I mean? I'm not going, you know, I understand what you're saying. I understand how you feel. I get it. But you don't really want to check your lady or correct your lady in front of an audience. You know what I mean? Nobody really likes to be, you know what I mean? You want to, when you're in a situation like that, like let's say you're out, you know, you're having dinner with friends or whatever, and your lady says something wrong, or she says something out of pocket. You know what I mean? The best thing to do for you is to, you know what I mean, excuse yourself. If you're going to check her, if you're going to check some behavior that's, you know, that's not cool, if you want to say something to her to kind of let her know what's really, really good, you want to pull her to the side on that. You don't want to do that in front of people. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that in front of an audience because, you know, an audience is really not going to help that situation. You don't really know how those people are going to respond. You don't really, you know, first of all, your lady not going to really want, you know, you or her shouldn't want a lot of people in your business like that anyway. That's number one. Number two, you don't really know how these people are going to respond. So these people could egg the situation on. They could, you know, take what you said out of context, and they could try to, you know, casually, you know, without even knowing it, you know, cause a wedge or cause division between y'all two, and then y'all sitting in the car arguing all, you know, back and forth, not even about what she said or what you said to correct her, but about what other people at the table said, about what other people who had really nothing to do with the situation have to say. So you want to make sure that if you have to do something like that, if you get to a point where you want to communicate, you know, where you want to correct her, where you want to let her know, hey, baby, that wasn't really right. You know what I'm saying? Or what you said wasn't true, whatever. You want to make sure that you do that, that you don't do that in front of an audience. You know what I mean? You can put yourself in that. If you out there with your lady, you say something wrong, you rather your lady kind of, you know, put her hand on your leg, you know what I mean? Kind of rub your hand and whisper in your ear, baby, you know, what you said, I love you, but that wasn't right. You know what I mean? And kind of let you know off to the side, and you'll respect her for that. You know what I mean? So it works both ways in that regard. You know, you don't want to put your lady out there in front of other people. It's not a good look. She's not going to feel protected in that situation. Even though you want to correct your lady and tell her the truth, and you kind of want to line her up with the truth, you still have an obligation to protect her. You know what I mean? So you don't want to leave her out there and have you know, people talking about her in a suspect way, in a disrespectful way, or you know, these sidebar conversations that she's going to hear and things like that you're going to hear. It's not going to end well for you. I mean, straight up and down. So like I said, going back to the chess analogy, you want to make sure you're doing things in a strategic way. So am I saying don't say anything? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But everything has to be done in decency and in order. And if I need to tell my wife something to kind of, you know, correct her in a certain way or about a certain thing, I'm not going to do that in front of an audience. You know what I mean? We've been together 14 years. We've been in plenty of spaces where we were hanging out with friends. You know, we were entertaining friends at our house, or we went over some other folks' house and we were entertained by them having fun. And my wife said something or did something that I wasn't really sure about. Like it didn't really sit well with me. You know what I mean? That's going to happen over time. But I wouldn't put her out there, you know what I mean, in front of everybody. I'll pull her to the side, you know, I'll hold her hand. We're going to walk off a little bit, and I'll say something to her. Or if it ain't really something that's a big deal, I might even wait till we get in the car and we go home. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm still going to do it the right way, decency and order, and with a sense of character about me. You know what I mean? So absolutely. The next thing that you want to that you don't want to do when you're communicating with your lady, and when you're trying to, or when you feel the need to correct something that she said or did, something that didn't sit well with you. One of the biggest things that you don't want to do is you do not want to bring up the past, man. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring up the past. You know what I mean? Don't bring up the past. I'm just telling. I mean, look, it ain't. It's not gonna work. You know what I mean? If you got to a point where, you know, you guys dealt with something and you got past it, you know what I mean? You communicated on it. You told her how you felt. She told you how she felt. You guys apologized or whatever. You got over it. Leave it right there, man. You know what I mean? Leave it in the past. Don't bring it up. You know what I mean? If something happens where you need to communicate with your lady and you need to correct her about something, don't bring up the past. I mean, it's not going to work, man. Leave it where it's at. You know what I mean? A few reasons why you want to leave it in the past, because it's not going to, first of all, it's not going to do anything to lower your tensions. So if you already upset, if you already frustrated, if you already kind of mad about something that your lady said and or did and it was wrong, and you want to correct her on it, bringing up the past is not going to make you feel better. It's not going to lower your tension. You know what I mean? It's not going to make it better. More than likely, you're doing it out of spite. You know what I mean? So when you communicate, when you're trying to let somebody know how you feel, you know, when you're trying to express a certain level of emotion to your lady, bringing up the past is you, most of the time you're going to do that out of spite. You're going to do it to hurt her. You know what I mean? You're going to do it to break her down. And that's not necessarily what, you know, you don't need to do that in order to get your point across. You don't need to crush her spirit by bringing up something that she might have did in the past, something that she acknowledged in the past, that, you know, she made a mistake and she worked on it, and, you know, she understood where you were coming from, and she said, baby, I'm sorry, and she corrected that behavior. You don't want to throw that in her face, man. You know what I mean? And you doing that when you're trying to communicate with her, and when you're trying to, you know, give her a certain level of correction because maybe she did something wrong, you're doing it out of spite if you bring up the past, straight up and down. A lot of times too is that when you bring up the past, you open your past up. You know what I'm saying? So fellas, listen, if you're going to bring up her past in order to spite her, in order to, you know, kind of put her down or make her feel bad, you know, be prepared for her to bring your past up. You know what I mean? And a lot of times nobody really wants to bring their past discretions up. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want somebody I was dealing with, I wouldn't want my wife, you know what I mean, to bring up something I did in the past that, you know, I've learned from and that I've gotten over. So if I don't want her to do it to me, I'm not going to do it to her. I mean, I think that's only right. I mean, that's balance. That's, you know, duality right there. So I'm not going to bring up the past because I don't want her to possibly bring up mine. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know what I mean, you doing that, you bringing up the past, it's not really going to solve your problem. It's going to create more problems. It's going to create more division and more animosity in your relationship. You know what I mean? Because you had one situation you were trying to deal with. You had one situation that you were trying to handle, to get over, to bring attention to, and now you've messed up that situation and brought more things on the table. You know what I mean? You already had a full plate with this one situation that you were trying to rectify, that you were trying to correct. Now, with you bringing up the past, you're putting more food on your plate. You know what I mean? You got food falling off your plate now. You can't handle all that. You know what I'm saying? So you want to deal with one situation at a time. And if you already dealt with another situation in the past, leave it in the past. You know what I mean? Leave it in the past. I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, man, it's not a good look for you. It's not going to end well for you or her if you do that. Like I said, women desire provision and women desire protection. And when you bring up her past, you're not really protecting her. And I get it. You know, I understand what you're trying to do as a man, because I've done it before. You're trying to establish a certain degree of context. You know, maybe you're even trying to establish a pattern. But if it's something that you've already dealt with, You know what I mean? If she did something and y'all dealt with it already, y'all chopped it up, you told her how you felt, I mean, you stood on that 10 toes and she said, look, baby, you know what? You're right. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't my intent, but, I hurt you and, I made you uncomfortable and I'm sorry. And I won't do that again. And she hasn't done it again. And then something else comes up that's not like exactly, related to that situation. And then you bring that up. Well, you remember, in 2014, you did that. Nah, that's not good, man. That's not nice. That's, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you at all. So also when you're in these relationships, man, another thing that you want to do is, another thing that you want to do is you do not want to compare her to another woman. Fellas, this is, oh man, this is a big one right here. You don't ever want to compare your woman to another woman. You know what I mean? If your woman is cooking for you, she's trying her best and she's trying to make you a nice dinner or something like that. And, that cornbread don't come out right, or, or that chicken wasn't really as seasoned as you thought it should be. Don't compare her to another woman, man. Don't compare her to your mother. Don't compare her to your ex. Don't compare her to your baby mother. Don't compare her to no other woman, man. That's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? You can express your feelings and your emotions to your woman without having to bring another woman into the equation. You can do that. For example, like I said, if she cooks something for you, right, and it's not to your liking, what I mean, you don't have to talk about how great your mother or your grandmother cooks in order to let her know what's good and to give her a degree of instructions and correction. You could just tell her straight up, baby, hey, I really like this seasoning right here, or maybe you could add this to it, or something. You know what I'm saying? You could say something to her to kind of let her know it wasn't exactly on point, but you don't want to compare her to another woman, man. It's not going to work for you. I don't know a woman alive that's comfortable with being compared to another woman, even if she loved that woman, even if she has a great relationship with that woman. She don't want to be compared to her, not by her guy. I mean, not by her husband. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. You can say everything that you want to say without having to compare her to another woman. I don't care if it's about her looks. I don't care if it's about, her hair. I don't care if it's about her, what she cooked for you, what she cooked or how she cleans and things like that. Just tell her straight up. Like, baby, just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Be honest and tell her the truth, but don't compare her to another woman. You know what I mean? If you didn't like it and she asked you, how do you like it? You tell her you didn't like it. Or you tell her, it could have used a little something. And a lot of times, even when you tell her the truth, you know what I mean, it's gonna hurt her to a certain degree because she's gonna want to please you. She's gonna want to do something nice for you. If she cooks you dinner, she's gonna want you to enjoy that. You know what I mean? If she dolls up for you, if you tell her, hey, baby, we're going out, you know what I mean? I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna scoop you around 6 p.m. We're gonna go to this show, or we're gonna go over here and have this, have dinner. I got our table ready. I got it, I got that table in the kitchen. We like, you know what I mean, or our favorite table. I'm gonna come get you, and then we're gonna go out and have dinner, just enjoy ourselves. And just put on something nice. And she's gonna want to impress you. She's gonna want to doll up for you. And she's going to want you to like what she's doing for you. So if you don't and you tell her the truth, it's going to naturally hurt her anyway. But the way you do it is important because she'll respect the fact that you were being honest. You know what I'm saying? But she's also going to respect the fact that you didn't break her spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because women, man, look, let me tell y'all something. There's no amount of criticism that a man can give a woman that a woman is not giving to herself. Women are very critical of themselves. I don't care how fine she is. I don't care how snatched her body look. I don't care how popping her skin is, how popping that melanin is. I don't care. She's very critical of herself. You know what I mean? The most beautiful women in this world are overly critical of themselves. They're critical about how they look. They're critical about their shape. You know what I mean? Yes, there are women. Your lady could be a size 6, a size 8, and be overly critical of how she looks. And then at the same time, there are women out here who are 14, 16, 18, 22s who would slit somebody's throat to be your woman size, to be a size 8, to be a size 10. You know what I mean? But your woman don't care. She see what she see in the mirror, and she has to be comfortable with that. So women are overly critical of themselves anyway. So there's really nothing that we could do critically that she's not already doing to herself. So, but be honest with her, tell her the truth. Don't ever lie to her. But at the same time, you don't want to talk to her reckless, and you don't want to, break her spirit. And I know that I see a lot of that going on because a lot of these cats, in these social media streets, they're out here and they're getting off on just checking women. They're getting off on telling women that they're this and they're that. And you know what I mean? Like she's fat, she's sloppy, she's this, she's that. So a lot of men are getting off on that. A lot of men are masturbating on themselves emotionally by riding on these women. You understand what I'm saying? For whatever reason. But you can communicate effectively to a woman, you know what I mean, and tell her about herself and tell her about her behavior that's not cool without disrespecting her at the same time, without checking her. And it's very important, especially when you're in a relationship, because you want to be able to get past the situation. You know what I mean? And if you do it the wrong way, women hold on to things, man. You know what I mean? Look, I'm just telling you from experience, man. I got a wife, you know what I mean? I got a daughter, you know what I mean? Women hold on to things, and it's really hard for them to let things go. So you have to be very careful about how you treat them. I'm not saying simp for them. I'm not saying, bend over backwards. I'm not saying, lose yourself trying to entertain them or please them or satisfy them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you tell that woman the truth. You stand 10 toes on the truth and you tell her what the truth is. But I'm more focused on, and this show is more focused on how you do it, not the fact that you're doing it. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm trying to get you to understand that there's a good way and a bad way to do everything. And you could have the best intentions in the world, fellas. You could have the best intentions in the world. But if you don't do it right, if you come at her and you're loud, you're yelling, you know what I mean, you're checking her and correcting her in front of people, and it's coming out, like kind of funny, like like you making fun of her, like you disrespecting her. If you're comparing her to other women, you know what I mean, that's not going to look good for you. That's not a good look. And it's taken away from your purpose. Your purpose is to just tell her what's good. Baby, I didn't like that. I wasn't feeling that. What you said wasn't true, whatever. Your purpose is to tell her what's going on and then to get her to respond in a certain way where she understands what you're saying. She acknowledges what you're saying. And she's like, you know what, you're right. I got you. I'm going to fall back on that. You know what I mean? We ain't going to have no problems with that going forward. Let me get to these super chats right here. I see you. Thank you, Mogul Naj, for that. I appreciate that. And my sister, Nicole Michelle, the Inner Beauty Movement. Thank you as well. I see y'all, man. I appreciate that. My man Joshua too. Thank you for pulling up. So yeah, man, this show is very important, and I wanted to do it because a lot of times, brothers, it's hard for us to communicate. You know what I mean? It's hard for us to say how we feel and to do it in a way where we get the result that we're looking for. You know what I mean? A lot of us, man, we go hard in the paint. We're masculine, we're tough. We understand that we're supposed to be out here laying the law down and things like that. So when we do that, we just have to watch our posture. You know what I mean? We have to do that. It's very important. You know what I mean? Because if we don't watch it, if we're not focused on what's going on, we run the risk of causing a lot of unnecessary damage and hurt in our relationships. Yeah. So, be mindful of that, man. Be careful about that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I think I got one more topic, man. Then I'm going to take some questions if anybody has any for me. And then I'm going to let y'all rock out, man. I'm not going to hold y'all long, but be true to my word. So the last thing that you want to do, you know what I mean, when you are in communications with your lady and you're trying to correct some behavior that you're not really cool with, she did something or she said something, that didn't sit well with you, and you want to let her know what's going on, but you don't want to do it in a way that causes more problems than are needed. The last thing you want to do is you want to reaffirm what she does well. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that you letting your lady know what she does well in the relationship. The only time that you shouldn't only communicate with her when she does something wrong. You know what I mean? When she says something wrong or she does something wrong, you want to let her know when when she's doing something right. So, you know what I mean? You want to, so if she cooked something and it was good, you want to tell her that. If she dolled up for you, like y'all going somewhere and you like, yo, baby, look, I'm going to get my hair cut. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna come scoop you real quick. We're gonna go out. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna ride through these DC streets, enjoy ourselves. You know what I mean? And you go pick her up, and she look gorgeous. I mean, she looks stunning. Everything is fitting right. The heels are on. You know what I mean? The nails and toes is popping, the skin popping. She looked beautiful. You want to tell her that. You know what I mean? If she's doing some things right, you want to tell her that. You want to reaffirm what she does well. You know what I mean? The only time you don't want to put yourself in a situation where the only time you really have a conversation with her is when she did something wrong, when she made a mistake. You know what I mean? So, women, your woman is your investment. You know what I mean? And you want to make, she's your most valuable investment, honestly. You know what I mean? If you think the way I think, you know what I mean? That's the essence of life, man, woman, child. So your woman is your greatest asset. Your woman is your greatest investment. You know what I mean? The quality of women that you invest in is going to have a huge impact on your life, on the quality of your life, on the quality of your children, you know what I mean, of your home, your household. So she's your greatest investment. So you want to pour into that investment. You know what I mean? There are going to be times where you need to be honest and say some things and correct some behavior out of love and respect, but you want to affirm what she does well too. So let her know. Make routine deposits into that account. You know what I mean? With affirmations, with love, with provision and protection. You know what I mean? Invest in her, deposit into that account. You know what I mean? So when the real situations come, she'll be more inclined to line up with what you saying. She'll be more inclined to line up with your program because she's like, you know what? I trust this dude. You know what I mean? He tells me the truth. He reaffirms me. So it's not that he just thinks I'm this horrible woman who never does anything right, because that's not true. Because he always tells me about, how good I look, or he always tells me about things that I say that he's cool with and that he's really into. And that's truth. And, when I'm speaking truth to power about certain things, he always reaffirms me and let me know what's going on and validates me in that way. So now that he's saying something contrary to that, I can absorb that better. I can take that better because I know it's coming from a place of love. I know it's coming from a place of provision and protection. He's trying to protect me. He don't want me going out here doing and saying things that's unbecoming of me. And who knows, a lot of ladies, may do things that they don't even know they're doing. They don't. You know what I'm saying? If there's nobody there, if you weren't raised a certain way and you weren't around certain people, some of the things that you say and do, you don't even know is wrong. You know what I mean? We in our society as Black people, we think that running around here having a whole bunch of babies out of wedlock is okay, because a lot of people ain't really been around us to tell us no different. We haven't really seen anybody do anything different. So like I told y'all earlier about, when I was young and growing up in my family, how we used to argue and fight all the time. I thought that was cool because that's all I saw. So it took me, moving in, it took me, getting a little older, moving in different circles to understand that, Frank, you don't really have to communicate like that. You can talk calm and you could be calm and collected and still get out, your point without being loud and coming off as aggressive and as dominant and domineering to people. You know what I mean? Because everybody's not going to see it the way that you see it. Everybody's not going to understand it or take it in the same context that you're taking it in. So you have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? So fellas, if you do those things, you know what I mean, you're going to have a great opportunity to be able to communicate with your lady and to correct some behavior that you see that's wrong, that, that's not right, that can be tightened up a little bit, you'll have great success doing that. You know what I mean? If you reaffirm what she does well, if you're not yelling, you're not raising your voice, if you're not comparing her to other women, you know what I mean? If you're doing those things and a few others, you're going to have some good luck, man. You're going to be in good shape straight up and down. And if you do all these things, let me say this. If you do all those things that I said and you still having problems, you pull her to the side, you're reaffirming what she does well. You know what I mean? You're not comparing her to anybody. You're not raising your voice. You're trying to communicate in the right way and you're still having problems. You know what I mean? She's still deflecting. She's still dodging. She's still, trying to run from the situation. And you guys end up fighting, or she don't want to give you none and nothing like that because you said something that she didn't like, even though it was the truth and you said it in the right way, then that's good for you too. Because it's letting you know that this woman is not the one for you. You know what I mean? If you're a masculine brother, you want a feminine woman, man. And feminine women don't mind being corrected. Feminine women don't mind instructions. They don't mind being talked to by a masculine man that they love and that provides and protects for them. They don't mind that. You know what I mean? Will she be a little hurt, whatever? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a good chance she might. But at the end of the day, when she lay her head down, she's going to say, you know what? He was right. You know what I'm saying? And, he was right. And I have to eat that. And he stood on it. And it ain't really nothing I could do about it but accept the truth that he spoke and line up with it or leave him alone. And she ain't going to do that because she love you. And she know that you are, she know you're a good brother. You on your square. You doing what you're supposed to do as a man. You know what I mean? So if she gives you a lot of problems, y'all arguing and fighting and you're doing it and you're communicating in the right way, then what she's doing at the end of the day, she's just telling you that, yo, she's not it. You know what I mean? So fellas, that's all I got, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for pulling up. You know what I mean? But, this communication thing is important, man. I see a lot of couples out here, they have everything going for themselves. He's masculine. She's displaying femininity to a certain degree. The money's right. The bills are paid. The house is nice. The house is clean. You know what I mean? The babies, everybody's lined up. Everybody's doing the right thing, but they just can't communicate. You know what I mean? They don't know how to communicate. I get emails, man. I have conversations with homies and they're like, yo, I can't talk to her. You know what I mean? And then we break it down and I'm talking to him and I'm like, well, let me know what's really going on. Like, talk to me. And he's like, yo, well, I did this. So I said that. And I'm like, yo, but like on the inside, I'm like, yo, I'm just shaking my head. Like, yo, like you did what? You said what? You brought up what? You know what I mean? You did that in front of who? You know what I'm saying? And he don't understand because he's like, yo, well, we do that. Like I check you in front of, you know what I'm saying? We out with the homies and you out of pocket. You said something reckless. I'm gonna check you in front of the team. I'm like, yo, like she's not the team. Like that's not the same team, bro. Like you can't do that with her. You know what I mean? I get it. I understand, bro. Like, but you have to be versatile in your life, man. Masculine men display versatility, man. You can't be the same way with your lady that you are with your homies and vice versa, man. You can't have the same mentality in the street that you have in your household. It's not going to work. Your lady, if she's feminine, she's focusing on that, she's not going to respond to that well. And that's what you have to be worried about. You have to be worried about the response, getting the response that you want. You know what I mean? It's about being grown. It's about being strategic. And I know a lot of guys will come up here and they'll tell y'all how they check women and how they tell them this and how they tell them that. A lot of that, man, look straight up and down between you and me, from me to you. A lot of that's just for the tube. These social media streets are crazy, man. YouTube is crazy. ClubHouse is crazy. Everybody balling. Everybody a millionaire. Everybody makes six figures. Everybody got proposed to 4 times by millionaires. Everybody been around the world. Everybody passport look like Lil Wayne chest. Everybody's balling on social media. You know what I mean? But then when you see them in real life, you pull them layers back, or when people that's around them start, being tired of covering for them, and they start exposing them and all that, and they tell the truth about them, they're not really living out what they spitting out. So I know a lot of these cats will come up here and they'll tell y'all, and some of them may be telling the truth, but they ain't telling y'all the whole truth. Yeah, he checked women. Yeah, he put women in, yeah, all his women in pocket. But he ain't telling y'all about them 2-3 domestic violence charges he got. He ain't telling y'all about them 2-3 stay away orders he got. You know what I'm saying? From checking women and being 10 toes down and stomping down on these women. They ain't gonna tell you that part. They only gonna tell you the part that sound fly, that sound dope. You understand what I'm saying? So listen, man, I don't have no reason to lie to y'all. I never lie to y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, what's gonna work for you. I'm gonna tell y'all how I live. You know what I mean? Frank masculine up and down. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody around me gonna tell you nothing different. You know what I'm saying? But I try my best to do things the right way. And I've made mistakes too. I've done things the wrong way. That's how I can come up here and tell y'all this. Because I've learned, and that's what this channel is about, man. It's about a man who's been through certain things in his life, being able to come up here and tell y'all, look, man, this is what worked for me. This is what didn't work. This is why it didn't work. And this is why I did this over here. And when I did this over here, it worked for me, man. Put me in a better space, put me in a better place. The people around me respected me better, you know what I mean? Understood my program better and lined up with it better. That's what this is about. So fellas, man, understand, man, your lady, if that's your wife, you know what I mean? If you see yourself marrying this lady, that's your most prized asset, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't too many great men out here in this world that didn't have a great wife beside them. That didn't have a feminine woman who was on point, who held things down for him beside him. I don't know too many who didn't. So it's important that, when you have somebody like that, you gotta really, be serious about how you treat her, how you communicate with her. You know what I mean? How you lead her, how you provide for her, and how you protect her. It's very important, man. So you can do that, man. You can be masculine. You can say how you feel. You can be completely honest, 100% honest. You could be 100, you could be 1,000 with your woman. But you can also do it in a way where you don't break her spirit, where she feels safe, where she feels protected and provided for. You can cover all them bases, man. And I'm telling you, if you do that, it's going to work out for you. So on that note, man, I'm going to say peace. I'm going to say salute to y'all. You know what I mean? I want to thank y'all for pulling up, man. Frank View from the Man Cave. You know what I mean? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You know how we do it, man. We're growing, we're evolving, man. We're just figuring things out day to day. And it's real important because, I don't care what people say, man. We need each other, man. You know what I mean? Masculine energy needs feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? Everything is in threes, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, woman, child, sun, moon, stars, man. You know what I mean? It coming, masculine, feminine. You know what I mean? And the babies, man. We need it. You know what I'm saying? We need each other. You know what I mean? As a man, I understand that I can't even really display my full level of masculinity if I don't have the feminine energy around me. If I don't have the feminine principle around me, I can't even really display my masculinity, because that's what masculinity is. You know what I mean? It's bold, it's direct, it's assertive, it's provision, it's protection. What are you providing and protecting for if you don't have the feminine energy around? What you doing it for? What are you providing for? What are you protecting? You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the feminine energy around, what are you leading? What are you leading? The woman is important for you, man. The woman gives you an opportunity to display your masculinity at its highest level. Yeah, I can lead a few homies. I can talk in an eloquent fashion. I can get my money up. But there's no better canvas for the masculine man than the feminine woman. There's no better canvas. There's no better way for you to paint your portrait than on the canvas of a feminine woman, for you to impart your vision, your mission, your provision, and your protection onto a feminine woman. There's no better way to display your manhood. None. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying rush into that. Don't rush into it. Don't get with a lady that's not right for you. But when you find that right one, that's your best opportunity, man. Michael Jordan, 6'6", jump out the gym. You would never see his talent if he didn't have a basketball in a court. You never see it. You know what I'm saying? You never see Tom Brady, whoop my Washington football team's ass last week. You never see him be great if he didn't have a football in the field. You know what I mean? Masculine men are at their greatest when feminine energy, when the feminine principle is around him. That's when he gets to display all his tools, everything that he's learned, everything that he was taught and trained and listened to as he went through the rites of passage of his life. The feminine energy is his stage. That's where he performs. You know what I mean? I don't care. You can be the richest, most powerful man in the world, but you know what I mean? If you can't, if you can't lead a home, if you can't lead, the woman in your life in the right way, some people it don't matter. That's why every president in this country was married except one, because the people subconsciously understood that how you going to lead the country if you can't lead your house? If you're not a husband, if you're not leading a woman and children, how do you expect to lead the country? That's what the country is subconsciously saying. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just want to let y'all know, I'm still out here, man. I'm still on all my outlets, man, all my social media outlets. I'm still on the tube. Obviously, I'm on Instagram. You know what I mean? Y'all know what that's about over there. I'm on Twitter as well, and now I'm on ClubHouse. So all my information is going to be in the description box for this show. I got to add ClubHouse to it because ClubHouse is brand new. But yeah, I'm on all of that. So y'all come check me out over there. Like I said earlier, ClubHouse is going to be the spot right now. So I'm going to keep doing the YouTube. It's been giving me a lot of love. You know what I mean? It's starting me out. You know what I mean? So I'm never going to completely walk away from it. But, ClubHouse is popping right now. So if you got an iPhone, if you have access to ClubHouse, y'all come over there, man. Pull up on me. Nicole, Gabe, a few others, who are doing great things over there. Y'all come over there and check us out, man. Also, let me see what I got. So yeah, so if you want to email me, nothing has changed. The email has not changed. frankjrivers@gmail.com. If you want to, just give me some questions. You got some questions for me, comments, concerns, whatever. You just want to let me know, hey, Frank, man, like I enjoy the content, man. It's heavy. I learned a lot from it. You know what I mean? Just let me know that. You know what I'm saying? If you want a consultation, I had a few people reach out to me, say, hey, Frank, man, I want to do a consultation with you, man. 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. I just want to rap to you about a few things and just kind of get your perspective on it. And I'm doing that as well. You can email me for that at frankjrivers@gmail.com, and we'll rap a taste about the rates and things like that. But if you need that, if you want that, if you think that'll benefit you, then reach out to me, man. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. I check my emails every day. So if you hit me, I'm gonna respond back to you probably no later than 24 hours, unless I'm, on vacation or something like that. I'm gonna get at you. So if you want to contribute to the channel financially, you could do that as well. A few people hit me up, with a super chat. I am monetized now. I'm on YouTube. So if you want to do that, you can do that. You can super chat, hit that little $ button on your screen. But if you want to do it through Cash App or PayPal, I have those as well. On Cash App, it's $ViewFromManCave, and on PayPal, it's paypal.me/ViewFromTheManCave. And so on that note, man, I want y'all to enjoy, the rest of y'all week. It's crazy here in DC, man, but we're gonna do what we do. We always have, always will. But y'all be safe. We're still in a pandemic, so wash our hands, man. Put your mask on. Stay 6 feet away from me, and everybody else, man. And on that note, y'all be good, man. I love y'all. Peace.